What is it about water as a delivery system that makes it work so quickly throughout the body, multi-benefits?
Yeah, so the thing that's desirable about water is that it's found everywhere in the body. And of course, as is well known, as we age, the amount of the water in our cells decrease. So there has to be a connection between the amount of water in our body and biological age. Part of this is that what holds the water in the body is the collagen matrix, the cytoskeleton. So collagen, of course, is the most abundant protein in the body. And about age 25, the fibroblasts begin to decline in their ability to make collagen. So we could say that the aging process really starts at about age 25, sadly, as collagen production begins to slow down. And that has a number of very detrimental effects, both in the way that genes are expressed and in terms of the biophysics of the body. So in other words, we have less collagen inside the cells, and this causes the cell membrane to decrease in size. This now changes the cell potential, which changes the amount of energy that gets shunted to the DNA during cell replication, and that ultimately changes gene expression, which means it makes us older. So if we can have water that contains energy, traditionally water is completely inert. It has no energetic value, no thermodynamic value. So if we can embed energy into water, number one, it's going to go everywhere. If we can put in photons of light that trigger favorable biochemical changes in the body, we can do some extraordinary things. We can turn on protein synthesis. We can turn on energy production. We can turn on regenerative mechanisms, which we'll talk about. And if we can trigger an increase in collagen with it, which our test shows possible, that in fact happens, then we can revolumize the cell and start to restore youth. This happens, of course, over a period of time through daily use of the water and through the proper nutrition. So this is a perfect blend of having the energy systems in place to trigger the correct reactions, and then having the correct biochemistry, having the proper nutrition to take advantage of the mechanism.
It's truly amazing. You mentioned a few of the key benefits there, especially around the anti-aging. And again, some of the feedback we've heard from people that have been able to try it and test it, kind of anecdotally, I heard lots of different benefits that people were, whether it was sleep, whether it was energy, there were so many there. How is it able? Is it because the water, as you just described, kind of moves throughout the entire body that can impact so many of our body systems, so many issues? Why is it so extensive in its benefits provided?
So let's talk about that. There are a number of testimonials we definitely can't share,
right.
medical in origin. One would be an example. Let's say we had one of our leaders. So on the Monday of the week of the Dallas conference, we had a private meeting with our senior presidential directors. They got the inside scoop of what we were doing on the development of the water machine. And then we unveiled the water machine and gave them a chance to try it. And what was so exciting is that people felt it immediately. So one of the immediate effects we could talk about is that an instant, and again, in 15 seconds, an instant improvement in cognition. So a feeling of being awake, of improved mental acuity, improved awareness. That all happens drinking one glass and within seconds of having it. We had a woman that was there, and I know she shared the testimonial publicly, but I'll leave her name off and then people can watch her testimonial. She was having a problem with, I think it was her left eye. She was having a problem seeing, and she drank one glass of water, and then that problem went away and she could see clearly. I don't think that would be a medical testimonial because it wasn't a real medical condition. I'd say it that way. Pain relief, almost instant pain relief from just drinking water. Very easy to understand why, because there's an instant improvement in energy flow through the body. So how is it doing all these things? Well, the first thing is when we look at why people age, By age 50, most people go through mitochondrial dysfunction. So there is a slowing down of the amount of energy that's produced in the cell. Some of the things that people do today to reverse that would be taking supplements that elevate NAD. That's one of the new things. Prior to NAD, you had nutrients like acetyl L-carnitine, lipoic acid, that could help to support mitochondrial function, coenzyme Q10. All these things are totally fine, and no reason why we can't keep taking these things. However, we have to get much more basic than that, and we have to look at why is the chemistry, the biochemistry of the cells changing in the first place. And the reason is we have to look at the control mechanisms. The gene expression is changing. You drink this water and it contains 6 different wavelengths of light. And this is all based on essentially lobster blood and the mechanisms that are involved in human blood and human beings as well. So there's 6 different wavelengths of light that are released. What we found in our clinical studies, the 4 clinical studies, we did blood testing, urine testing, and a whole suite of different bioelectrical tests. We found that when you drink this water, number one, it starts to increase the energy metabolism in the cell, and we see an increase in production of NAD. So now people don't have to take an NAD supplement. If they have enough niacin in their diet, they can get an increase in NAD. So energy metabolism goes up. That's absolutely critical because you can't get elevated protein synthesis without an increase in energy production in the cell. Another thing that we saw that was incredibly exciting was a change in methylation. So this requires a little bit of explanation. The genes of our body are in either a methylated or a hypermethylated state. So when we talk about methylation, it's the ability of our body to access information in the genes. So effectively, you have genes that are off and genes that are on. And as we age, some of the genes that are off get turned on, and some of the genes that are turned on get turned off. So it's relatively speaking that simple. So what's desirable is that as we age, we want to reset those genes to a younger, healthier state. Now, X39 elevates copper peptide, and copper peptide will reset about 1/3 of the human genome back to a more youthful state. So that's great. That's why X39 has been so incredibly powerful. But we want 100%. We want to get 100% of the genome back to a more youthful state. And that's something that we need to prove with this product. But what we see is that it turns on methylation. So as long as people have methyl donors in the body, that will be the biochemistry part. So foods like beets, for example, which are high in trimethylglycine or betaine. SAMe is another biochemical that is methylation. Methylcobalamin, vitamin B12, that's another vitamin that has a methyl donor. And we will have a formula that we'll be coming out with that will provide a full spectra of methyl donors. So as long as you have those methyl donors, you have the biochemistry needed to take advantage of the signaling mechanisms in the water. And then we see amino acids like proline get synthesized and upregulated. Proline is a principal amino acid in the synthesis of collagen. So we see evidence that the water will support advanced healing from injury because we get accelerated collagen metabolism. Then I think I'll stop there because there's a lot more. We see upregulation of amino acids associated with antioxidants, such as beta-alanine and cysteine. And importantly, we see upregulation of the branch chain amino acids, especially leucine. We're going to do a study, but this may be the most powerful anabolic ever discovered, meaning that if you have enough protein in your diet, you're exercising, and you're drinking this water, it's going to dramatically increase muscle protein synthesis. So this can be phenomenal for athletes. They could build muscle, strength, stamina faster than ever before with this technology.